I am going to start the reading. Paradise. The Inexperienced Ghost. In this story adapted from the story of The Inexperienced Ghost by H.G. Wells, a man narrates his encounter with a ghost. Read on to find out what he experiences. We met that Saturday at the club. Clayton had slept there overnight. Clayton said, "Do you know I was alone here last night? Well, I caught a ghost." "Caught a ghost, did you?" said Anderson. "Where is it?" And Evans shouted, "Tell us all about it right now." "I don't think it will come again, ever," said Clayton. "You mean you didn't keep it?" asked Sanderson. We laughed and Clayton looked offended. For an hour I saw him in the long passage. He was transparent and through his chest. I could see the glimmer of little window at the end. He looked as though he didn't know what he was meant to do. He was lean, he had a small head with scrubby hair and narrow shoulders. His short jacket and a turned down collar, the trousers were a little frayed at the heels. I saw him as I came up. As I have described you in the introduction of this story, the inexperienced ghost, as the title tells, that the ghost is not seemed experienced. The ghost is seemed confused or perplexed because he has forgotten the last movement of his hands or the arms through which he can disappear from there. In the starting of the story, we met with the main narrator, with the main character of the story. His name is Clayton, and Clayton meets his friends. The names of his friends are Sanderson, Evans, Wish, and the narrator. Clayton starts telling his friends that he had met with a ghost, he had encountered with a ghost one night before there in a club. But when his friends listen this statement told by the Clayton, they starts laughing on Clayton. Then the Clayton feels offended, and then Clayton started telling the story that started describing more about the ghost, how he had met one night before there in the club. Because Clayton was passing through a passage, then he saw the ghost. Because the ghost was semi transparent and he was able to see the window through the ghost. And the ghost was semi transparent, it was not properly okay properly transparent or properly concrete. And then he describes about his features of the ghost was lean and he had a small head with scrubby hair, and hair means his hairs are not worn properly, hairs are not combed properly, and he had narrow shoulders. His shoulders are narrow and he has small shoulders, and the ghost had worn a jacket, and he had worn the trousers, and those were little frayed, and frayed meaning they are जो मुड़े हुए होना नीचे से मुड़े हुए थे वो हील से. So those were frayed at the heels. And so I have described you first para in the starting of the story that the Clayton meets his friend and he describes his encounter with the ghost, and he describes about the ghost. He has narrow shoulders, he has small head, and he has worn trousers. And his friends doesn't his friends don't believe the story told by the Clayton, and they start laughing on listening the tale told by the Clayton.